All right, guys, want to say welcome to it. This is Everyday Lessons Now, and we already, at episode number 3. How beautiful is that? So I want to welcome everyone into this beautiful room. It's a podcast like no other. We've been hearing all. I want to say thank you guys so much for the feedback. It's been amazing. And you know, I'm not here alone. Every week, every Monday, me and my ever super duper friend, not just friend, but Dr. Amala Luncheon. Want to say welcome to it again. We here.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am good. So let me know, how's your journey been so far? Like, I know you're getting all the little fan mail, all the little, oh my gosh, can you help me here? Can you help me there? I love the podcast. I love what's going on. I didn't know that's what you were doing. Can I come in? How can I be a part of it? So talk to me.
Right. The feedback is awesome. The feedback is amazing, actually. And I'm actually happy when people reach out and they say, listen, if you need a voice, I am here. So I actually like that. And I find people are reaching out from different walks of life. Today, I spoke with someone who's a coach and a trainer on human resource matters. So, you know, that was actually quite interesting. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, guys, if you're tuning in for the first time and you're hearing the podcast, we want to say welcome. We appreciate it. And you can feel free to send us, and you know it's going to pop up on the screen for those of you looking at it, but those of you who are just listening only, feel free to send us any comments, suggestions. Are we taking those you can give them the email address?
Sure, it's everydaylessonsnow@gmail.com.
Yep, and remember to follow us on all social media platforms there as well. Let's put Everyday Lessons Now. The everyday is spelled different for Twitter, but it's easy to
For
find.
Twitter, yes, it's EVRY Day Lessons.
See?
And then for Instagram, it's Everyday Lessons Now.
Easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. So once again, guys, want to say welcome. And we're here. Today, you know, we try to keep the conversations as entertaining and light as possible, given the fact that everything we speak about is important, and we want you to then go out into the real world and use some of the tools you've learned inside the podcast in your workplace, at home, wherever, you understand? And we touch just about everybody. You could talk about, like, if you're a coach for any kind of sporting team, if you're a teacher, if you're middle management, upper management, and if you're the head of a household, and even if you're just somebody who lives alone and you feel like an introvert, and this can also help you to communicate better, because we always talk about communication, how important communication is in everyday life. And as
Absolutely.
the name of the podcast is Everyday Lessons Now. So we try to teach you something for the everyday life. So let's jump into today. We want to talk about something that came up, something that was asked. Somebody asked you something recently, and you said this is where this
right.
from.
And I thought it was actually quite interesting, and we really need to talk about it. They asked me, well, how would you actually be able to influence without authority? And I thought that was such an interesting question, because there's so many places where you actually need influence, or where you actually can influence people, and you may not necessarily be in charge. And, you know, I thought I would write down some of those things and just, you know, talk about it, because those are some of the things we need to do. Let us say you started by saying you might be a coach. You know, a coach has authority, but what if someone on the team actually has an idea that they would like the coach to bring up to the team? How would you do something like that? So, you know, people on your team, you work with them, you know what their gifts are, what their skills are, and so on. So one of the first things you would probably do is appeal to their self-worth. You know, so you tell people, well, I know that this is the sort of thing that you think about. This is the sort of thing that you like, and so on. And that's one way to do it. So you come in, you're not the coach, but you're able to talk to them from a place of understanding who they are as a person. Right. So that's just one.
And from the top of my head, I would think one of the ways you can influence without authority is by actually performing. Listen to what I mean. Performing in the sense of people naturally gravitate to leaders. Mm-hmm. You can be a leader without having authority. As you said,
absolutely.
You can be the captain of a team still has a little authority, because you were appointed the captain of the team.
Yes.
But let's say you're just let's use what sport? Let's just use football, right? Mm-hmm. Soccer, for the want of a better term. You are a defense, a left back or something. You're not the captain, but you have a position. You have a position on the team, and you have to excel in that said position. Right. And in doing so with grace, I think that in itself will bring a sense of influence because other players on the team may say, but look how nicely he moves and he's loved by others and other teammates, other teams always hail him and give him good energy, good vibes. Everywhere we go, he's the life of the party. That is a way of influencing without authority by you actually acting out in a particular manner. So I think that in your everyday life, you should really operate in a space of being a good person. You understand? Once you're
one of the things I actually wrote down is to make people feel good. Yeah. If you make people feel good, you can influence them and you're not in charge of them.
No, you're not.
So you're able to sway people to a way of doing things that you think may be better or so on. And you're not in charge. You're not in charge.
Exactly. So I think that's one of the ways. And this particular thing could be implemented in just about everything. Like,
absolutely.
Like, or in a household might be a little different because in a household setting, especially a Caribbean black household, the authority is always mother. Let us not get it twisted. A lot of us believe that the authority is in the father, and that is a lie. Let's forget that. It is never, the authority in a household is never the man.
Right.
We've been taught to believe as the man of the house. He is the man in the house. Right. It's a big difference. There's a man in the house and there's a man of the house. But in this new age world that we're living in, the genderless world, if you want to have a better reason, if you want to speak, where we're not putting genders in the thing, the individual of a household that runs a household, most times is be a woman if we're being fair.
Right.
Because this is the person who not only nurtures the people in the house, is the person who's normally, just because of how it's been set, who really takes care of the matters of the house, right? In terms of the happiness of the home. When I say happiness of the home, a man might go to the supermarket, he might bring home the stuff that you might have to cook, prepare. He might go in the yard, cut the grass, all of things. But in terms of that gel that keeps the house together, the person that really makes everything move, because when he gets that, the woman normally prepares the meal. The woman normally operates in the space where she knows, well, listen, she monitors the things that have to happen around the house because she uses things in the house regularly. So she might say, there's a leak here, there's this happening here, we need this fixed, we need that fixed. So the gel is normally the woman of the household. So in a case like that, how you could influence as an individual in that home, that particular situation, you could apply the same lessons because of how you function. Like if you think, like for me, let's say I'm in a home and everybody have their pet peeves. One of mine is squeezing the toothpaste in the middle. I love there's an order. There's just an order of life. And the order of life is you squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom. That's the order of life, right? So an easy way of influencing is every time you go to the bathroom, you squeeze it, and you every time you always fix it. It could be, you could run into a little problems, in being honest, where people let's be like, they're gonna fix it anyway, so I'm not going to. But every time you fix it, you can drop a line, drop a joke. You could be like, oh gosh. You understand? Like, it's every time so will make me fix this thing, I fed up fix it. But not in an angry
antagonistic.
I tell her this is no. You understand? So outside of you two being a good person, it's about, which is something we'll talk about every week here, regardless of the topic. One of the key, the common denominator is self-awareness at all points.
All time.
Once you are self-aware of what's going on, you will then understand how to have that conversation in your home. How
you see yourself in the moment.
Correct.
You see other people in the moment. You'll see a big picture.
Yeah, always. You understand?
It's 6 o'clock.
We're trying to let you understand how easy it is to do just that. How to influence without authority. And we use the words authority, and I guess when you had the conversation with the person, I guess they would have used it to try and bring some seriousness to it. But authority could come in different ways.
Absolutely.
You say the word authority, it makes you automatically
sit up.
Yeah, but authority is just somebody who really is in a position to dictate something or to ask people to do something or to ask of something. So it could be in smaller minute pockets as well, because in any given situation, there's always somebody in authority at that point. Like for instance, if we talk in the West Indian culture around carnival time, the people in authority is the security guard,
right?
By the party. He's an authority. How could you influence him to get any party free without saying, you know why? Who is me? You have to find a way to finesse said security. You understand? So in every little aspect, everywhere you go, the person in authority changes all the time. It's never about that, because when you hear the word authority, people automatically start to think monarchies, governments, that kind of thing. Authority doesn't always be there. You understand? There's authority on lower tiers as well. Not
Right, of
always
course.
somebody,
Of
like
course.
always police or soldier or people like that. Is in lower tiers as well. If you go to a barber, in that moment when you go for a haircut, the person in authority is the barber. Because he could have a off day and decide to zug you. Hairdresser could have a off day and decide to put too much of peroxide and you come out of the hair looking purple or
Right.
green. You understand?
Right.
So it's just that. So again, so for those of you, well, I keep saying this because of habit, guys. Excuse me. I was now about to say for those of you now joining us, but you can't now join us because you had to be
Right.
watching from the beginning. So apologies on that. And that will end over time. For those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, I make the mistake only because I've been doing television and radio for so many years and I'm accustomed doing live, but with the new world that we're in, podcasting and this sort of format is a new way. So me too have to be self-aware and understand, and I will grow as we
That's
continue.
a good lesson.
And I'm growing with you guys. So in a couple weeks, months, years down the road, you wouldn't hear it anymore. It will just flow naturally when I need to say, well, we at this point in the show,
Right.
yada, yada, yada. All right?
Right. Another thing that I had written down and I wanted to bring across as well is that you can do someone a favor to get that influence, because people like to feel that if you're offering something to someone, then most times they'll give you something back.
Right.
So if you do a favor for someone, you're actually able to influence them. And you don't even realize, well, I mean, you may be doing it deliberately, but that is one way that you can actually influence without having authority. So like you said, we can go back to the security guard at the party. You know, the security guard could actually do you a favor and let you in the place that you may not necessarily have the credentials
Belong.
to be.
Let's be real. You do belong here. At the end of the day, bro, watch yourself, watch the party. Watch yourself, then watch the party. You don't belong here. Yes.
Right.
And that's a next case of being self-aware. Yeah.
Right.
Trust me, we know, you know.
Yeah.
We know. We always
We
know.
do.
We
We
always know. And that's one of the things that I always tell people. When you hear people trying to make excuses for other people, especially men, we're not going to jump too much into this because, you know, the man-woman things is always end up, you know, pulling and tugging. But we come from a place where men, if you're fair and you're honest with yourself, you know half of the times all you're doing wrong. You just know. You just know when you do in the moment, right? As a man, I can speak for me, and I am a man, full heterosexual man, right? In the moment, you scratch your head and be like, "Are you really doing this way? I really want to put myself in this bacchanal." That is what comes there. Every West Indian man had that moment when he looked at self. Yeah. You really gonna put yourself in that bacchanal? Yeah. Because I want the smoke. So when the smoke comes, as a man, you need to be prepared for said smoke.
Right.
All right. So it's the same thing. So when you know that somebody, especially in a case where you know you have the power, or as we say, the authority to get things done, but it has not been working in your favor, because when you come off with that authority vibe, it brings a sort of disdain by others. And you once you can read the room, again, being self-aware, that your style, the way, the manner in which you go about doing that job irks people, that is when the self-awareness thing needs to kick up a notch. You have to find within self, how am I going to get this done without having them feel like it's forcing you to do it, or I'm dictating that happens. And one of the easiest things to me, and guys, when we say everyday lessons now, it's really about everyday lessons, and it's not so much about heavily credentials. Like, I will say I'm honored to be in the same space with Dr. Amala because she has a greater understanding about it, but I am here for the balance, to bring that balance. And when I say bring that balance, it's making you understand the everyday person, man, woman, child, could get to the point of being super self-aware if you just exercise some basic skills. And the skills, for me, it's one, listening all the time. And I always say, in every job, everything you do, when you get to a position of management, you get to a position in authority, it's always good to understand. And we spoke about this in a previous podcast, understanding your assignment, meaning whatever is that position, if you two can do it, so you will have a better understanding as to why the employees hate or dislike what's happening in that moment. Because you two have to understand what they're going through. Right? It come like, let's say, for instance, we go to like a construction site and the workers, the guys who actually saying, listen, boss, we cannot work in these conditions. We understand we have a deadline, but the humidity where we're working is bad. The cement or whatever it is you're working with not holding because of the conditions.
Right.
If you are not aware of that, you as the person in authority don't understand the technical aspects of what they speak of, but you are just operating from a place where you have a deadline for your bosses or the bosses that this job has to be completed in such and such time, and you don't have the understanding that this is what needs to be done or why it's happening that way, then that's where the problem lies. So I always
and also remember, in a lot of cases, we have people who deal with stuff from their office. They're not necessarily down in the field and speaking with people, you know. So it's important to, again, it comes back to self-awareness and to good communication. I like to talk about communication because a lot of things could be avoided if we would only communicate well. So, and communication, as we spoke about in the first session, has a lot to do with listening, and listening is an all-encompassing thing. It's not just ears only, you know. So you have to listen with everything that you have. And so being able to take something that someone out in the field is saying and translate that into what works in your office if you're not out on the road, those things are important too. And you can actually get work done by just listening to people, just listening.
Okay. Yeah. It's that simple. Just listen and understand. But it always helps and even if you are not, let's say, a contractor by trade, but you're a project manager of a big project, and you then have to manage actual workers, like people who the day-to-day daily handymen.
Yes.
It will be cool to, even though you don't understand, maybe you can even pong a nail. But it will be nice, as you said earlier on, the favor that in that case I consider going to the site, and getting to know them is the favor. Yes. So on a random Wednesday, take breakfast for the team.
Exactly.
And try and show them that you want to understand why it's giving trouble. You're interested in wanting to know, okay, tell me a little bit about this humidity stuff you've been talking about. The fact that guys, I remember, I'm guessing here. I don't know how cement is working me. I just guessing, but I'm winging it. I'm winging it with the energy. Like, it's sounding like it's making sense. So I'm winging it in that zone. So do not come any comments now and talk about, we talking about it and what on the cement this whole. I don't know. I'm just guessing it.
But it's a great example.
You understand? It's a beautiful example. So come to the site and say, well, listen, guys, I bring some, wherever is the delicacy, wherever you are in the world, you know, it goes normally coffee and something. Breakfast is universal. You bring some bagels, you bring eggs, you bring whatever is the delicacy of choice of that said morning, and have a conversation. And say, guys, let me better understand why the project is taking so long. So now you're in a position of getting what you want without authority and can now go to your bosses and explain even better. And say, listen, this is what needs to be done because now you are using your authority for better.
Exactly.
My guys cannot do it now at this time. And this is the reason why it can't be done. And I am telling you now that we need to adjust X, Y, Z, W, Z, and thing and move forward from there. And it brings a greater cohesiveness. It brings a better vibe. The productivity of the work site will be better. The energy of the employees will be better. And it's just always up from there. It's always good.
Yeah. And we know, as we like to say, teamwork makes the dream work.
All the time. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yep. So that is one of the ways. It is one of the ways. Teamwork.
So guys, and just like that, we done. You see? And I'm sure you want more.
Been here for,
And you want more, but that's all right. Check us out on Monday. Each and every Monday, we're here just for you. Everyday Lessons now is the perfect space to come and educate yourself on how you can just go through day-to-day stuff with everybody. We're talking about from the home to work to school, everyday life. So I want to thank you guys so much for being a part of it. As I always say, I'm your boy Jaiga. We say great is the art form. It's the only podcast that gives you a little movement in the background, a little music for you to sway, shake your hips a little bit, shake your shoulders. You understand? And of course,
and then get back to work.
Or get to work, because it's a perfect time to listen is on your way to work. And of course, Dr. Amar.
Right.
So bid your farewells.
All right. Thank you. And I will see you again next Monday.
Yes, sir. Only take a small shoulder shake while only there. Take something. We gone.